going to therapy, and this 2 weeks that I've gone in a row has been the most consistent that I have ever gone to therapy. I needed it really, really bad. I knew a while ago that I did need it really, really bad. However, the one person that I was trying to go back to wasn't available. I couldn't find him or get him to schedule an appointment with me. Somebody that I've seen before, rather. Obviously, he wasn't available if he wasn't answering, but somebody I have actually seen before. It was a long time ago, so I figured it was still worth the try. And I just want to say that if you have any type of, negative feelings about therapy and you have not gone before, then you should try to put that aside. Just like with anything else that you feel like you have a negative thought or connotation about, but you haven't done or experienced, just try to put it aside and try it out. It helps so much, and I don't recommend you wait until you're like really depressed and really sad and you just have absolutely nowhere else to turn. I can say I'm guilty. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to find my other sunglasses because it's really bright, but I don't like the way those sunglasses were looking with this scarf on my head. Y'all like my scarf more? I waited until I got to a breaking point when I shouldn't have, but I did do it. So that's part of the battle, just going through with it, making the appointment, going to the appointment, being open to your counselor, and just being very clear in what you're talking about, or what you're, feeling, being honest, totally honest about it. It's another thing. Don't go to your therapist or your counselor lying. What is the point of going if you're not going to tell the truth? If whatever you're scared of, they're going to disclaim and disclose before you officially start your counseling on the paperwork you're signing, that certain things that you tell them they will be required to report to authorities. However, if it is any of those things that are really happening anyways, you need to want them to report it to the authorities. You might not want them to initially, you know what I'm saying, but it needs to be. So it needs to still come out, is my point. So yeah, don't go lying. Tell the truth. Be open. Be honest. Don't be scared either to, try to choose another counselor if you just feel like that counselor you're seeing is not giving you what you need, how you need it. They're not really speaking your language in that sense. So don't be scared of that, because that would also suck, just going to a counselor that you don't vibe with and you're not really getting what you could be getting out of your therapy and counseling sessions. But the tools that I'm going to try to use or choose to use to manage my chaotic life and happenstances, what the heck was that? Would be writing down things, writing down what I want, what things look like for me when it comes to my creative side, my brand, my business, my entrepreneurship. Because I think I'm very much I have an entrepreneur mind. Do I have the entrepreneur actions? I don't know, because I'm kind of a scaredy cat. I'm a scaredy cat. That's why it took me so long to start doing YouTube, because I seriously have been talking about and thinking about doing YouTube for well over 2 years. No, it's been way more than that. I actually was thinking about doing YouTube, God, like when I was like in my 20, like around 20 years or so, 20 years old or so, and I'm 27 now, and I just started doing it. And I've had a lot of opportunity, a lot of things that I could have documented, people would have been interested in, needed to see, wanted to see, or whatever the case may be, for 7 years for sure, because there's been a lot of crap going on for 7 years for me. So, excuse me. Yeah, like I was saying, I am going to start to learn how to say no. You got to learn how to say no sometimes. Tell people no. They ask you to do things they ask you for favors, or they expect you to do things, or you know, you got this going on but they want you to do that. Just tell them no. Like, you got to make a different choice sometimes. You got to make a choice for yourself sometimes. Even if you have children, even if you have a husband, you have to make a choice for yourself sometimes. And my struggle, I don't know if there's any other women out there in the world that have this struggle as well, but my struggle is I'm constantly battling myself and kicking myself, thinking that I'm less of a woman. And I'm less of a woman because I didn't do the laundry all in one day. Or I'm less of a woman because my laundry, while it's washed, has been sitting there unfolded for a day or two. Or I didn't get to deep clean the bathroom, so I'm just like not shit as a woman. Or my daughter's hair didn't look, perfect. I didn't get to shampoo her hair or redo her hair every single week like I want to, so it's always looking pristine as I want it to look. I'm not shit of a mom. Or I forgot something when it comes to school for the kids. I'm not shit. Or I can't be at something. I'm not shit. You know, like I constantly, nobody's telling me that, but I constantly think that. I feel that people's responses and reactions to me when I can't be what they feel like I need to be, or can't do what they want me to do. Sorry guys, that was a train. I'm going to get my baby BT'd up. It's like people expecting certain things of you, and they feel the need to act out as if you're not giving them what they expected, instead of even just saying it. They just act out like their attitudes and their demeanor determines how I feel as a woman, because I couldn't be that superwoman in that moment. And that's not good. It's not healthy. It's not okay. It's not good. It's something that obviously, like I said, I'm working on. And that's one of the things on my list for this week to think about. Like, besides making the list for my career and what that looks like, it's also saying the no's. Also, I really want to try to hurry up and skim through this book, The 5 Love Languages. I've had it for a little bit. I actually came upon a steal, man. I went to a library with my boyfriend one day. He was needing to print something off, but when we walked up, they had this box. But I've had the book for a while, and I have yet to read it because I don't have much time for reading. The free time I do have, I'm editing videos or something like that. Like I'm not reading. I guess I could use some of the time that I'm watching TV, catching up on my shows to do it, but that's like whatever. I'm catching up on my shows. So I need all that like mindless TV sometimes to free my mind and just chill out. So what was I fixing to say? Oh yeah, so being able to say no, reading my 5 Love Languages book, making my list of what my career plans really are, what my goals really are, what it really looks like for Dominique and nobody else. Those are my tasks. Those are some tasks that I was given, things I need to think about. And I just layered those on top of my tasks that I was given from the last session, which was last week, which was making sure that my daughter knows how much I like her. Not that I love her, because she knows that I love her. And I'm guilty of, when I had my daughter, from the very first child I had, I wanted to make sure that she never felt unloved. I wanted to make sure that I told her I loved her on a regular basis. We parting ways, we getting off the phone. I want to make sure I told her I love her, because nobody did that for me when I was her age. I love you was rarely ever said in my family. And especially like I wanted it. Like I used to be around my friends and they might be on their phone with their parents and getting off the phone with their parents, and they would say I love you, and they would just be like I love you too, just getting off the phone with each other. Like it ain't like we just didn't see each other. It's not like we're not gonna see each other because around you we're kids. It's not like you're away at college. Like you see each other every day, but at the same time, simply just getting off the phone in that moment, you felt enough love for you all to tell each other I love you before you get off the phone. Like I said, I never had that. Not that my family didn't love me, but they never expressed love outwardly. They didn't. It's just not how my family is. And it's just not my dad. It's my family. Like, we've just now in this generation, in my generation, are starting to get towards being able to more comfortably and better express just literally our love verbally to each other. But we still are far from, I think, where it could be and should be, because it's just so easy to say something. You know, out of things you could easily say, that's a good thing to easily say. You say a lot of bad things all the time, and that's so easy to say. So why not say good things? Why not say I love you, you know, just for no reason, and not just to your boyfriend or your spouse or whatever. We need to say it to our family members and our children. So like I said, I was obsessed from the time I knew I was having a child with making sure that she felt everything that I did not feel, or I felt I did not get. I wanted to reverse it and do that and be that for her and all my children. And I've been doing good at, you know, obviously making sure that they know verbally I love them. You know, you never hear that somebody loves you. That's a problem. And it's a problem that you might not realize in that moment. You might realize it, you might not. But when you get older, that shit comes out. That's a problem. That's a problem. As I grew up, that was a problem. I did not feel loved. And my counselor gave me the tools last week that I'm going to layer on what I had this week for my daughter's situation specifically, because we're definitely in a tweener stage. She's definitely changed hormonally and mentally, but at the same time, she's also still the same mentally. Some of the changes is nothing that you wouldn't expect for a girl, a female, a teenage girl, and in this time that we live in. However, it still is concerning to me, and as a parent, for me, I would prefer to get out in front of it as much as I can. I would prefer to make sure we address it as quickly as we can, as best as we can. I prefer that she gets whatever tools that she needs now. If I would have preferred it before, but I think I'm just, as a parent, I've grown and just gotten better in general, and I've gotten more proactive about a lot. So we're going to work on possibly getting her into some counseling, just for all the stuff that she doesn't feel comfortable with talking to me about, or stuff that is just heavy on her and it's just such a conflict of interest to talk to her mama about, express to her mama clearly about. Like, I want to make sure she has whatever sounding board she needs. So with her, again, it's making sure that she feels liked, because again, she does feel loved. When I thought I was doing so great and making sure she felt loved, I wasn't doing as great and making sure she felt liked. And for her girls in that age range, my daughter's 12, by the way, it's most important to them to feel liked, whether that's by their loved ones or their, you know, socially. It is most important for them to feel liked. While I'm not going to try to build up in her that should be your most important thing, naturally their mindset, that's how their minds and their emotions, that's how they put everything together. Like, they don't put it together as, oh, you love me because you told me you love me, you kissed me at night to say my prayers, and you fed me and you clothed me. You don't love me for that. Like, if me doing that for her, I'm not saying it's not enough, but that isn't, in her mind, in her age, what she really needs. And when she unfortunately grows up, if she unfortunately has any issues emotionally, that's what her mind is going to go back to. It's not going to go back to how her mama literally took care of her financially, gave her everything she wanted and all of that. It's going to, for her, go back to, were you there for me when I was locked up in my room and crying? Did you come see about me? Did you talk to me? When I was crying over that boy, you know what I'm saying? Did you brush me off and ignore me and go do your thing? Or did you sit there and try to help me manage the situation with the boy and tell me how boys are not shit, and tell me how you're beautiful and you're gonna get a boy, or a certain perfect boy or man is gonna come along in your life one day? Like, that to them is what their minds associate. When they get older, if they think back, they're going to think back to those moments, not so much the overall, mama takes care of me. Because that's what I do, and I always did, and I always do it, even when I grown. But yeah, that was my thing for her. So just basically trying to be your teenager with her. People are obsessed over not being your child's friend, but you do have to be your child's friend. You should be your child's friend if y'all are cool, you know, if you can be friends, if your personalities match that way. But obviously be the disciplinary and have the respect. And I think even with friendships, there's supposed to be respect. But you also, again, have to be, I guess more so the important piece is being the disciplinary, even if you're going to be your child's friend. But lighting's a little bit better this way. So I just wanted to stop in and give y'all that quick update. I'm going to therapy, and this is my second session with this particular therapist, and I like the tools and the things that she's opened my mind up to thinking about, making it more organized of how I'm gonna push through this thing called life, how I'm gonna push through the thing called life with the stresses, how I'm gonna be able to handle that. So last week, first tool, my daughter feeling liked. Second week, tool, saying no, making a list, writing down what I see for my career future, and actually, you know, bullet pointing that so I can focus and hone in, excuse me, and figuring out not only my man's love language, but my children's love languages, so I can make sure that I make it basically as easy on me as possible to not feel like I'm disappointing everybody, or I'm not good enough, or I'm not pleasing anybody, because I've been really struggling with that. And I've recorded videos talking about it when I was in those moments, but I don't think I've ever edited or posted them. I might think about going back and doing that, since now I'm actually to a point where I'm making a plan to proactively, sorry guys, I'm making a plan to proactively do something better and be better and making changes to get some better results. And it will be on me to at least do that first. So yeah, I just wanted to update y'all. And like I said, I might go back through those videos and possibly edit some of those clips and post them, because I'm overwhelmed. I was feeling overwhelmed. I'm still feeling overwhelmed, but it's just not as bad in this moment. Because I was just to a point where if it was getting any worse, then I don't know what was going to happen. So I'm about to go pick up my son, and I might pick up the camera later on.